Works. Hey, what's up, man? It's Ace Michaels, and this is the Ace Michaels Show, not the Spade Michaels or the Club Michaels. This is the Ace Michaels Show. So you found the right one. And today I have a curiosity on my mind about testicles. Some call balls, I call testicles. I generally refer to mine as testicles. Other people's, they're balls. But anyway, before you turn the dial or run off the road, this is a very, very legitimate question. What I'm wondering is if someone can actually answer this for me. Testicles are very important. They carry the life seed, the blood of humanity, the essence of what makes us human are carried in these testicles. So why are they so sensitive? You can't put on a pair of skinny jeans without upsetting them. You can't walk around at an event without the wind breezing by and you going, right? So I'm just curious, why would God make this very important part of your body so sensitive, and God forbid somebody kick you in them? You know what I'm saying? What in the world is that? Please, if you have a thought, send us an email. Don't come to my place, but you can send me something. You're welcome to send it, and you know who you are. And you're still blocked, by the way. Blocked on the internet means blocked in life. Okay. And that's what's up. Hey, today on the show, my guest, I'm super excited to have him on the show. He's a young man that I've seen performing now for over a couple of years. It's been several years I've seen him doing his thing. He's a handsome, horny man in the Las Vegas entertainment industry. Please welcome Kevin Mullinax. Is with us on the show, on the Ace Michaels Show. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm well. It's a good afternoon. Weather's
Excellent.
nice.
So you caught that reference to horny man. I'm sure you get that a lot.
A lot.
People say, "Oh, here's a guy. He's horny. Trumpet sax, horny.
Often, yes.
Anyway, so tell us a little bit about your journey. I know you are you're a pro guy in Vegas. You're a sought after session musician.
I am pretty. I keep busy for sure. I definitely. I mean, there's a lot of talented musicians in Vegas, obviously, but I'm one of the. I would say one of the busier trombone players in town. You know what I mean? As far as freelancing. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of shows right now that are using trombone on a nightly basis. A couple of the strip shows, but I definitely keep myself busy for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now, I was curious: is there a certain thing about you that makes you so sought after? Like, do you have a certain style, or say like they go, oh, well, we need like a Kevin Mullinax type of thing on this.
Yeah, there's definitely. I've done gigs where they've called me and been like, hey, we want a horn section and we want them all to do the same thing you do.
Well,
which is funny. Yeah.
Why do you need a section if you want them to do the same thing I do? That's
well,
funny.
Because they want. I do. I probably bring a little more energy than like most horn players on stage.
Almost to that. You bring a lot to
almost
the stage,
to a
bro.
detriment. Like I subbed on Boys to Men once, and the trombone player goes, "Hey Kevin, so I need you to not go full blown Kevin. Just do what the guy next to you is doing, because there's a couple dance moves. So yeah. I do have to ring it in sometimes, but I pride myself on bringing energy and having good stage presence and trying to bring something that the other trombone players in town maybe aren't gonna do, whether or not because they don't want to or because maybe they just aren't hyperactive. I don't know.
You're great at what you do, and you also sing, which I don't know many horn players that sing as well.
There are some out there. I'm a big fan of Trombone Shorty.
Yep.
At New Orleans, because he plays trombone, trumpet, and he sings. And that's something that I've been aspiring to do, is be multi-instrumental, be able to sing. I know a lot of horn players in Vegas that are absolutely willing to sing backup harmonies and stuff like that. A lot of them aren't willing to get up front, though, and sing lead if they have to.
Yeah, and you do a wonderful job, by the way.
I appreciate it.
You kill it. I love you watching you perform.
Thanks. I try not to, in most of the bands I'm in where I sing, it's like one or two songs a set.
Yeah.
I don't aspire to be the lead singer of a band. I actually really enjoy being in the section, being a horn player, bringing that additional, that little cherry on top. But it is fun to every once in a while get out there and be like, oh, look, he can do that too. Plus, it gives the lead singer a break. You know what I mean? So I don't mind being the sixth man.
Well, Kevin, we do interviews on the show, and one of the things that we do that's even better than the interviews is we play games. And we called you here today. We're going to play a game called Fantasy Band. It's very similar to fantasy football. I'd like you to play this game on the show today. Are you down?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to create a band based on your preferences. This can be any musicians that you would like, live or dead, okay? And you're going to win absolutely zero money on our show today, okay? So be excited about that. You're not playing for a charity. You're not playing for money. You're just playing for fun. So here we go.
There's a lot of options.
So let's start.
That's tough.
With Kevin's fantasy band, starting with who's going to be on. Well, you get to pick the first instrument. Who's your?
Well,
first
I mean, as soon as you
band?
said the game, I was like, my mind just starts running, because I'm like, I need to know what kind of.
Well, okay.
Let's pretend we're talking about actual like sports. Like, I need to know what kind of offense we're running. I need to know, you know what I mean, what kind of D. Are we running a 4-3, a 3-4? I need to know what kind. Do I need a Ronnie Lott kind of safety, or do I need a covered like? So depending on what kind of band. So if I'm going for diversity, and I want to be able to play any type of music,
Yes.
like that's tough. You know what I mean? Like, so many singers.
Anyone you.
My initial thought, the very first singer I thought of was Prince.
Prince is your singer?
Yes.
Will Prince just be your singer? I don't know if
Yes.
Prince will settle for that.
Well, luckily he can't argue with us. But as far as his ability, I mean, the dude he rapped. I don't know if you ever heard.
Of course.
You know what I mean? The guy raps. He's got range for days.
So as not to offend or unnerve.
Do you know the song "Pussy Control"?
Pussy Control.
I'm just saying.
Yes. Yes.
So we have diversity,
Irresistible
right?
bitch.
I don't judge.
He was about to pound me. I love it. That was a mid-pound stop. Wait a minute. I don't know this guy well enough to pound him. I'm going to go ahead.
That's a different podcast.
So, yeah, totally.
So,
Prince,
I feel like, but that's like low-hanging fruit. I mean, that's...
No, hey, it's
I mean,
fantasy team.
but he can
It's your
sing
fantasy.
everything. He can sing his falsetto. He can sing... like him, Philip Bailey, like those dudes that can sing whatever they want to.
Now,
Is super
Philip
impressive.
Bailey, like a guest vocalist.
Philip Bailey, like backup vocals, the lead singer for Earth, Wind and Fire, he'd be like, "Yo, just sing
backups?
some."
Yeah, okay.
That's, I'm just saying, like that's
happen,
a little
sure.
much. Dudes with unique voices. A low key guy that a lot of people don't know about, but I love the sound of his voice. Is a guy named Mark Broussard. Super soulful, super soulful voice. Like he doesn't get his flowers. Like people don't know who he is.
Yeah,
because he's not on the radio. But I love the sound of his voice. If I could emulate someone's voice, I think that's kind of where I lean because it's kind of raspy. He's got an underrated range where you see he sings some stuff that you don't expect him to.
Yeah.
And he'll sing soulful stuff, and you're like, then you look at what he looks like, and you're surprised.
His voice is raspy, not so much Joe Cocker.
Yeah.
But there, it's there.
Exactly. We're not talking about like Tone Loc.
Right.
But we're talking.
You remember the group The Commitments?
Yeah.
And Andrew something was, I want to think it's Andrew Strong, actually. I don't think he's related to Mark Strong, but I think Andrew Strong was the lead vocalist in that group, and he had that great raspy voice.
Even Joe Cocker you mentioned has a sneaky range.
Well, Joe's amazing.
When you start, you don't think it's very high, and then you start singing along with it, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, Joe is amazing. Okay, so we got Prince as our lead
we'll
singer.
start. We'll put Victor Wooten on bass.
Victor Wooten's on the bass, okay.
Because he can play anything.
Now, for people who don't know, who's Victor Wooten?
He's a very, very well-known jazz bass player.
And he's played with, for example...
I don't know if he's playing who he plays with on a regular basis, but like I've heard a lot of his solo stuff, and it's insane.
Okay, so Victor Wooten's our bass player.
That's kind of a nerdy... If you're a musician, it's not nerdy, but if you're just like the average guy who only listens to like Maroon 5 and Sia, then you're not going to know who Victor Wooten is.
No, Maroon 5 and Sia.
I'm just going from one side to the other, right? That's tough. I'd have Babyface produce it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we're getting into.
We have to. I mean,
realm.
you gotta have.
Okay, so
yeah.
Babyface.
Oh yeah.
Why Babyface?
Because
Why not Timbaland?
No. Nothing against him. I'm just like the stuff. Okay, I'm 45 years old, so the stuff that I grew up listening to had Babyface all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking everything from Johnny Gill, Boys to Men. You know what I mean? Like he's Whitney Houston.
And then you also
Ariana Grande.
Yes, and then you also had Babyface albums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's as a singer, he is what he is, but as a producer, as a writer, it's. You know.
You want to hear my Babyface trivia story?
Okay, go ahead.
So Babyface and L.A. Reid were in a group together that was called The Deal. That was the name
Yeah,
of their group.
I remember.
Signed, right? And when they got signed, they got dropped. They got dropped by, I forget the name of the record label they got dropped by. But Babyface, Kenneth Edmonds, was walking out. They were, security, get these fuckers out of here. And Babyface said, I'm going to come back one day. I'm going to buy this building. I'm going to make my own record label, and you'll see. And that's exactly what he did. When he came back, he bought the same building off of Cahuenga and Hollywood Boulevard. He turned it into, I think his label was called Solar. I don't remember the name of Babyface's record label. Because then he got with L.A. Reid, and then they started LaFace and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But anyway, but the first one he did exactly that. He came back to the same record label. He said, I'm buying this. I own it. Y'all get the hell out of here, and turned it into his own record.
Right.
I thought that was a great success.
There's so many. I mean, like Smokey. There's so many amazing producers and stuff like that. But trombone player, since I play trombone, probably J.J. Johnson.
You wouldn't play the trombone yourself in your fantasy band. You wouldn't be the trombonist.
I can. No, absolutely.
Wow. That's interesting.
I know my role. There's.
I know my lane.
Yeah, this is
okay.
If this, you're not like it's. I understand the whole having self confidence and being like, oh, like LeBron, I'm the best basketball player in the world. I'm glad you think that.
Yeah.
But like I am far from the best trombone player in the world. JJ, beautiful style, melodic. It's like everything you want in a trombone player.
Wow.
And he's obviously not around anymore either. So it's like I said, I'm trying for diversity.
Okay.
Let's see, a drummer. That's a tough one. I would like
to say, I'm still trying to imagine Prince being recorded by Babyface. I think that would be in and of itself a reality show just to see.
I'm a big '90s R&B guy like that because that's just what I grew up listening to. Yeah. And even though I might listen to salsa one day, my kids think I'm crazy because all the different stuff that we listen to in the car.
Dad,
so they know they're crazy.
Think you're like
this is
number one.
My son got to choose what song he got to sing in 6th grade at the end of his year because he was in choir. He chose Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. And his teacher was like, okay.
Yeah, hey, don't judge. Yeah,
we had to change the words because you couldn't say you can't trust a big butt and a smile. So we switched it to you can't trust anything but her smile.
Oh, very interesting.
Very
interesting. So you mentioned Prince, and I wanted to ask you because I'm a trivia type of guy. You like Earth, Wind, and Fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Maurice White, founder of Earth, Wind, and Fire, was originally supposed to produce Prince's first album.
Okay.
Prince wouldn't have it. So to this day, and then Warner Brothers represented both, and Warner Brothers was really pushing Maurice to produce Prince, and Prince says no, right? And to this day, I think about it. I go, what would a Prince album have sounded like with Maurice White as the producer? I can't even imagine that.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, something to think about. Okay, back to the band.
Okay, I don't even know what instruments we're on now.
We're on. We don't have a guitar player yet. We don't have a keyboard player. We don't have a drummer.
Let's go with Jeff Beck on.
Damn! Really?
Just passed away, but
big guns. Jeff Beck.
I mean, this is the problem. Like you can name 10 elite guitar players, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just whoever comes to my mind first is who I'm trying to go with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Instead of overanalyzing
that's why they were forefront. If they were there,
exactly,
because the universe put them there.
Yeah, and maybe they won't even be the best person, but like it's like a fantasy draft. You got a minute. You got 60 seconds. Don't overthink it.
Okay, so we got Jeff Beck on guitar. That's a good choice. I love Jeff Beck. I can see that. I can see him working well with the other musicians.
The drummer would be hard.
The drummer
would be hard because the drummer sets so much.
Who's the guy from Metallica that's always crying about stealing our songs, don't use our songs? Right,
but then you listen to Metallica songs and there's so many YouTube videos on stuff like that.
What about the guy from Rush?
The guy from Rush, or Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich.
If you want to make the band interesting, like if you were on a bus with Prince and Buddy Rich, and like that would be a hilarious bus to be on. There'd be a lot of fights. I feel.
What about Max Weinstein from Springsteen's band? He's a great drummer.
Who did I just watch that I was super impressed?
Meg White.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you? I mean, and I know some really good drummers, like personally.
And you get to have a percussion section too, if you want. You could have Sheila E. or somebody.
Yeah, if you could want to play and back up, sing.
Yeah.
Tito Puente. I played with Tito Puente Jr. once. That was
Wow.
interesting.
I played with Ike Turner.
Ike?
Yeah, I actually opened for Ike Turner in L.A.
Interesting. I've done the Latin Grammys a couple times. So it's
Oh,
like if
bless
I
your heart.
tell people who I've played with because I'm what I look like, they're like, really? But like I said, it's Vegas, so you play with whoever.
I said this on the last show. We had another great musician in here yesterday, and I said this. That, musicians I love to have on the show because you guys tell these stories where you're like, yeah, man, who was on that gig, and nobody knows the names but you guys, and you're like, yeah, Leonard Toll-Free and Lester Mo Jackson was on it, and
Just completely random
Toe
names.
Jam Mafungus was doing a little something on the bass on that one.
But you don't realize that like you've heard that guy on 1,000 recordings, like that kind of thing.
So lastly, okay, so we got our drums. We didn't get a keyboard player. That's our last piece of the puzzle. We needed.
The easy one. The easy one would be like Stevie or something like that. But I'm gonna go with
Stevie's booked.
Okay,
We can't use
I'm gonna
Stevie's
go
already
with
doing shit.
just because it's not a super well known guy. There's a band called Dirty Loops.
Like I'm gonna go. Oh damn, Dirty
Okay.
Loops. I don't know Dirty Loops.
Dirty Loops.
White boys apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they're like
I don't even
European.
think a black group can be called
Dirty
Loops
Loops?
without getting stopped by the police. Dirty Loops.
If you listen to their keyboard player, and I'm only picking him because of his vocal chops too.
Okay.
Because the dude's got Stevie range. He's this like European white dude who is insane singer. Like insane. The dude's nuts. And he can play his ass off. So now all of a sudden I have a backup singer and a keyboard player
Yes.
who has all the range for days. Like we could do some sick ass harmonies.
And what about last piece? Just this was a bonus one. Last piece was a rapper.
A rapper?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a sax player. We don't need a sax player. There's a sax player in every band. This could be like the one horn band without a sax player.
Wouldn't it be dope if there was a sax player
Who
that
rapped?
Also
I'm trying to think. Do I know one?
Hold on. Copyright. Sax player also raps, not to be used. Virginia and Atlanta. Okay.
There we go. I've had to in some of the wedding bands that I play in. Sometimes I'm the one who has to do the raps.
Do you do that?
Sometimes. You want to hear a super personal story?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So I work with a nonprofit called Monday's Dark.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Every
That's your time. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, right.
No.
Exactly. Don't raise money for the children. So every show we do is for a different organization, but it's also themed. What we did one night, we did all Beyonce.
Oh, interesting. And you sang?
I was the trombone player for it, but I also had to do all the Jay-Z raps. So I did Deja Vu, I did Crazy in Love. Now, the reason this is a crazy story is because that morning I had a vasectomy.
Oh my.
And I was gonna sub it out.
This is a person.
I'm dead. Yeah. So that morning I had a vasectomy. I was gonna sub out the gig, but I couldn't find another trombone player that knew all the Jay-Z raps. So I couldn't. So I did the gig that night on painkillers with my legs shoulder width apart. Not a lot of moving that night.
Not a lot.
But yeah. So finding a saxophone player that could rap would be helpful.
And I want to introduce to America my new co-host, Kevin, who wrapped our show up very conveniently in a tight bow. We started off talking about testicles. We ended up talking about testicles.
You're welcome.
The Ace Michaels Show, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I wanted to ask you one last thing, if you could. First off, we want to know how we reach you on social media.
Yep.
That's a big deal because we want to stalk you and, that whole thing.
See if I'm rapping.
Yeah. And I'm going to get you to wrap us out.
It's not gonna happen.
We're going to beg for you to please wrap us out.
Please
Please wrap us out.
pussy control. I'm active on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
That's about it. My Kevin Mullinax.
Sexy picture, by the way.
That was from Life is Beautiful.
That way, I don't think you're sexy, but I could see from the picture that other folks.
I
would.
grow on you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. After a while, a few drinks, I get it.
I get it. Right. That was from Life is Beautiful. I play with a funk band called Soul Juice, and we played at Life is Beautiful this year. And that was not. It was completely random. Someone had taken a bunch of pictures, and that was one of the pictures they had taken. I don't even know what I was looking at. It wasn't planned. It wasn't like,
cool,
oh, hey,
cool
everyone,
shot.
come look how cool I look.
Yeah.
And it's badass because my initials are in my trombone because I'm bougie, and you can see it perfect. And so that's why it's a cool picture. But anyways, Facebook, Kevin Mullinax. And then on Instagram, Kevin D. Mullinax, because my middle name is Devon.
And And if there's any way, now some gals are really outside already with their T-shirts halfway up, ready to
It's
hear
very
you
unlikely,
wrap
but go
us,
ahead.
Wrap us out, Kevin. Please give us a taste of your Jay-Z or something.
Which one? What did we do? We did like
Whatever you want.
Young Ho, y'all know when the flow was loco, or is it which one? That's the what's the
I
other
love
one?
it.
H. I'm trying to remember the Deja Vu rap. What is it?
Well, remember,
Hova's flow is so unusual. Baby girl, you should already know it's the H-O. Light up the flow, because we need help trying to study mine. Bounce, flow, what's the difference? One you take the vein while the other you sniffing is still dough. The po-po trying to convict me, that's a no-go. My dough keeps the scales from tipping like faux, like that one.
yes, great job, great job.
No one pays me for that.
Just so you guys know, we have in the studio Karma, who's the host of a Karma Movement, is in with us today. And then also, what's the name of your band again?
The Band on Fire.
The Band on Fire. Tammy Land is here from the Band on Fire. And when Kevin was rapping, these girls were twerking. Y'all missed it. I'm just calling it out. There was some twerking up in this studio here today. Amen. Hallelujah. Hey, man, Ace Michael Show. Kevin Mullinax, my guest today. Fabulous guest. You know what I say at the end of every show? I don't even need to say it, but I still say it. Live the life you love. Love the life you live. Thank you.